Today I'm reviewing The Sims 4 Tiny Living. This is a part of a series where I review every single pack for The Sims 4, including all of the older packs. I upload a video every single Monday. This pack is all about downsizing and building micro homes. It's all about adding a brand new challenge to build mode where you have different tiers of micro homes, and depending on how small your home is, you may reap some different benefits depending on that. The pack comes with some brand new furniture and CAS, including a brand new Murphy bed, and it comes with some really interesting storage compartments stuff that we'll go over too. Of course, as this is a part of a major series where I brutally honestly review every single Sims 4 pack, it will be in the playlist, link in the bio below. Starting off with the CAS, I would say this CAS mostly has a male and female balance. I definitely think the CAS in this pack is quite unique and has really cool textures and designs, because sometimes CAS in The Sims 4 is very hit or miss, and a lot of the time we do get some of the same old rehashed stuff, but I genuinely feel like a lot of the CAS that's present in the Tiny Living stuff pack is unique, and I do really like it too. I think a lot of it is quite flattering as well. And of course, this pack comes with the best pajamas in the game. If you like your Sims in cute PJs, do you know what, I always put my Sims in these set of PJs, always. And you know, weirdly, I actually think the CAS really fits the theme of the pack. Although it's back about Tiny Living, which is building, whenever I watch those TV shows or documentaries about people building micro homes, they always have a certain look about them, and I feel like you're gonna know what I mean if you've seen those kinds of shows before. I genuinely feel like the CAS in this pack looks like the stuff that those kinds of people would wear. Like, it looks like somebody who would live in a tiny home would wear. It's very difficult to explain, but I hope you understand what I mean, and that's genuinely one of the main reasons why I love the CAS for this pack so much. And even though it's not a pack about CAS, of course all Sims 4 packs are balanced in their content, so they did have to include it. And from that perspective, we are starting off strong with a 10 out of 10 for the CAS. Moving on to the build buy, Tiny Living stuff suits Tiny Living, funnily enough. It comes with some brand new furniture. I will admit the furniture is a little bit ugly. Like, I do think the colors clash horrendously and they don't complement each other. All of the different beige swatches really just do not match with anything else. And I also find that they contain a lot of vibrant blues and reds, and the colors are just quite overpowering. I would have liked to have seen a more diverse style of stuff, especially seeing that a lot of the stuff in this doesn't look like any tiny home that I have ever seen myself. The pack comes with a couple of pre-made rooms and they look okay. It also comes with a pre-made house, which is tolerable, but for a pack about tiny living spaces, I do believe that there should have been a lot more pre-made lots on the gallery, just to give you a few more examples. Obviously, the pack comes with the brand new Murphy bed. We'll go over the gameplay mechanics in a moment, but it basically just takes up the same tile space as a double bed, but it looks like a sofa when you first pull it down. I will admit, I do find it very strange that the whole point of this is to make it tiny, but because it takes up the whole entire space of a double bed, it doesn't still make much sense to me. There are some good points about this pack. One thing that I do really like is that it comes with a lot of stuff that contains many objects in one. For example, we have a combo object, which is a TV and a bookshelf and a stereo all at the same time, which is very useful. There's also a chest of drawers, which is incredibly small, which is very useful. I do definitely feel like this pack should have included more tiny build buy, because that is the whole point of it. For example, they could have given us an update to have storage underneath the stairs or a little bathroom underneath the staircase directly, because that is something that you often see in real life tiny homes. I also would have liked an overhead microwave slot for cabinets or even attic beds or a mini fridge with the pack, but we just didn't really get any of that. Although the Murphy bed is okay and the stereo TV bookshelf combo is okay, but I just feel like they should have gone so much further, especially with the different swatches and object types. I just genuinely didn't feel like it went far enough with the build buy, and because of that, unfortunately, I am going to give that a 5 out of 10. Moving on to the gameplay, obviously it's a stuff pack, so it doesn't have much gameplay. We obviously have the Murphy bed, which your Sims can just pull down. Sims are able to scooch over, so if you would like to put your bed right in the corner, they can scooch over to the far side of the bed. It works completely fine. And hey, who doesn't love a brand new death in The Sims 4? That's right, we have a brand new Murphy bed death. You can kill your Sims by pulling the bed down. The death rate is quite low, so it's not something that's going to get annoying. Sometimes the Murphy bed will break, and if you continue to try and put it down after it's broken, then it will kill your Sims potentially, but it's not guaranteed. I think it's a really quirky addition to the pack, and I'm really glad that they put it in there. Of course, one of the great things about the pack is that you get buffs. Depending on how small small your micro home actually is, you get a certain number of buffs, and a lot of these are OP, especially the gardening buff, and it all just depends on how much effort you put into actually making the house tiny. The Sims 4 in general is a game that often lacks a lot of challenge, so this is something that I genuinely really appreciate. And I also appreciate that the pack is just focused around one singular concept, and it's very, very topical as well. Compared to previous Sims games, there's a lot more builders for the Sims 4 than there ever really was before then, and I'm really, really glad that a pack has actually been made for them. I personally, as a player, love working with restrictions and challenges, especially when it comes to building, so I think it's a really, really great step forward. Although I will admit, I do wish there was some cross-pack compatibility with Dream Home Decorator. I would have loved it if there was an objective set by clients to actually rebuild the person's home as a tiny home. I think that would have been a good idea. In that respect, I do wish there was slightly more gameplay, but I'm not that upset about it. In general, guys, even though this is a pack about building, not actually playing the game, weirdly, it has a lot of fun gameplay, and because of that, I am going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. Obviously, with every single Sims pack, there can be performance issues, so it is important to look at those. There was one occasion where the bed randomly went up after putting it down, which I thought was strange. The pack doesn't really break that badly, but that was the only issue that I've ever seen with it, and it only happened once, so it's not a major game-breaking pack. So for that, I am giving it a 9 out of 10 for performance. So this is where I give an overall review of the pack plus my personal opinion. In all, this pack is getting an 8.5 out of 10, making it one of my highest reviewed packs for The Sims 4. One thing I really like about this pack is it just works around a very singular theme. Some of the other packs I do find very wishy-washy, and the gameplay is really, really cool, but the build, buy, and cast doesn't necessarily match it. But I genuinely feel like with this pack, especially with the cast, it all does feel very much in tangent with each other. Obviously, the build, buy of this pack is its downfall, and it's a shame because the whole point of the pack is about building, and I do definitely wish they put a lot more effort into making the build, buy a lot more beautiful, and also at least giving us a lot more Murphy bed options, because the only Murphy bed we have is the one that matches with this ugly set. There's no other kind of Murphy beds that match with any of the base game stuff, for example, at the least. Because of that, I do find it very difficult to actually make a tiny home that doesn't include stuff from the Tiny Living pack and instead includes stuff from other packs. But in general, I do think it is a really fun and nice challenge, and it's always good to have more challenge in The Sims 4. So even though this is a brutally honest review, not all of my reviews are negative, some of them are really positive, and this is a genuinely positive review of the pack. I will pop the entire playlist here, so please check it out. I'm updating it every single Monday. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.